Tell us about your conviction to the sanctity of human life, and in the understanding of the court's overturn of Roe v. Wade and kicking it back to the people's representatives and the states, what role does the federal government have to play in this, if at all?
Well, first you start with your convictions and your fundamental beliefs, and I believe that life begins at conception, and that God nourishes and fosters that young unborn child and deserves protection. And we can argue exactly what's the level of protection. In Arkansas, we have the most pro-life state. It's been recognized as such. We have very strict prohibitions on abortion with limited exceptions. And we did this once. We had a trigger law that once Roe versus Wade was reversed, that went into place. And so we're saving lives, and I've signed over 30 pro-life bills. Now you move forward in the post-Dodd's environment where the authority, and you said it just exactly right, Bob, that it went back to our elected representatives. And I had to read it twice because I fought for decades and decades at every pro-life rally every year saying Roe versus Wade needs to be reversed. It was wrong to decide. It needs to be returned to the states. Well, we got a curve in there. And of course, if you're interested in protecting life, then you have to recognize that we could develop down the road a consensus at the federal level to have greater protections for life across our country. And so that is an option, and something that I've said that if there is a consensus built with a pro-life bill by our elected representatives with the right exceptions, then I would sign that legislation. But I expect that this is going to be, that consensus is going to have to be developed in the states. And so that is going to continue state by state, Iowa, Arkansas, you know, and we need as Christians to be able to approach this, to move forward for protections of life, but also with compassion about the challenges of pregnancies that aren't expected and in difficult circumstances, and to make sure that we respond in loving ways and in supportive ways, increasing maternal health care as we did in Arkansas, increasing adoption services and prenatal and the prenatal care that is so important for healthy delivery. So we've got to express it in the right way and understand the challenges that women face.
Well, I really appreciate your stand on the human life. If we could sum it up, how, if you're elected president, how would you be a champion that America would return to a culture of life versus, say, a culture of death?
By supporting pro-life legislation that adds protections for the unborn. And that's my belief, and I will do that as president. And, you know, if there's a bill on my desk that Congress has said we're going to, you know, have a 16-week or some other agreement that has protections for life, but also has the exceptions that I think the American public expect, then I'm going to sign that bill. Secondly, whenever you look at our presidential leadership, you're going to see me at pro-life rallies. You're going to see me supporting the pro-life cause. I've done that in Arkansas. I'll do that across the nation. And the ultimate victories that we will have in pro-life is just like we've had in the past. It's through education. It's through understanding that life, it deserves that protection, and that, you know, anymore, that life can come out of the womb, even at a very, very early state, and it can be saved. And we have to provide those protections.